my initial was £2,677.51. That's for everything as far as I could work out when I did the initial list that I needed. Alright, welcome back to the channel. Following on from the last episode where we just had a basic bit of a workshop chat, what's coming up, what bikes I need to work on, what things need to be done. Obviously the situation of being in lockdown, still working from home, obviously I haven't used the bike, so that was the main purpose of the last video. The purpose of this video, before I get back onto the Z650 in the next episode, we're going to start reassembling the front end, and like I said in the previous episode, try and get this on two wheels so I can move it around, so I can pull in the other bikes because they desperately need some work. First of all, I want to say a big thank you to everybody that sent me pictures and emails of the electrics plate and also the ignition advancer, the cam that's actually missing. Thank you so much to a couple of you that actually had a look for me, see if you could find one. And also I've had people giving me links to where there are cheaper versions available, so I'm currently looking at that, which is great. I really appreciate it. What I've done, obviously I always use my book. I've actually done a quick schedule of actually what I'm doing next, where I need to go. So after this video it's back on the Z650 reassembly, getting it back on two wheels, getting the wheels trued up, balanced, or as best as I can do them, getting tubes in, getting tyres on, get the whole front end in, handlebars so I can move it around, all the rear end, all the brakes, etc., as much as I can get on the bike, because obviously the thing that's going to hold me up is the electrics. As you saw in the last episode, I do have some electric parts that have turned up, but obviously the wiring loom is the main one that's going to hold me back. A couple of bits to do on the ST when that comes in is obviously go through the electrics, obviously with the overcharging problem. Also, I want to have a look at doing a video on the ST1100 parcel shelf. I've seen many people make their own. I do have plans to actually make one myself, so we're going to have a go at that. That should be interesting. First time. I'm not an expert metal worker, but I learn as I go, so hopefully that should please a lot of people. As I said previously, Hayabusa, that just needs to come in, polish the paintwork, polish all the chrome. I'm actually going to look at painting the wheels as well. I've got a few ideas on that one. And then obviously the Varadero needs a major spruce up, and I'll need to sort the front tyre out. But the other main purpose of this video is, many of you have heard, Patron. I do have a few patrons, and always I can't thank them enough. The help they give me, the support they give me. As I say, there's a link in the description below to Patreon. If you're not familiar, pop across. I'm actually in the process of updating the main video that sort of introduces you to who I am, what I'm about, and what I've done and what I do. Obviously, a lot of you that have followed me, you know. A few of you have come across and are actual patrons, and as I say, big thank you. There's a list just to my side here of my current patrons, and as I say, the help and support you give me is much appreciated. I speak to a few of you via email, just rattling ideas across, etc., and you know, it's a great help to have that support behind me. Obviously I need to grow that support as the channel gets bigger. It's always much appreciated. I mean, apart from the few patrons I have, I am totally self-funded, and it does get tight. You know, these builds are expensive. I do try and budget as much as I can. I don't waste any money. It's all planned out as best as I can. Obviously, with the said, it was a bit difficult. Obviously, I didn't realise that the actual wiring loom was that far gone. So that's an expense that I didn't plan for. I did plan a contingency, but it wasn't that much. So, you know, there have been extra bits that I've needed that have gone into the contingency that I didn't realise I had to do, which is a part of every build. I mean, I'll show you the actual list I made. Right, that was the actual part of the list, and the rest of the list there, and that actually came out, my initial was £2,677.51. That's for everything as far as I could work out when I did the initial list that I needed. Obviously there are extra bits that have cropped up along the way, missing bolts, etc. So my contingency buffer was actually only 150 quid, which maybe was a bit low. But obviously I've saved bits on obviously the wheel building, doing it myself. The paint I'll actually do myself. The frame, obviously I painted that myself instead of actually having it powder coated. So I've saved in areas where I can, but I've lost in other areas, if that makes sense. But as I say, if anybody's doing this, try and make a list and plan as best you can. But as I say, Patron is a big part, or it's a growing part of my channel. Like I said, there's a link in the description below. I am updating the page. It's a powerful platform that I kind of didn't understand to start with. I'm growing and understanding it better, of how big and powerful it can be. As I said in a long time ago, there is a link in the description below to my tip cup as well. I've had many people just donate just for a one-off video, which is fantastic. All the funds that I get go back into camera equipment, batteries, SD cards, obviously the paint, and all the little bits that, you know, when you go to the shop and you add them up, it does get quite frightening of how big it is. But I couldn't do without the Patron support. It is a big thing, and I will be spending a lot more time reworking, changing and trying to improve my actual Patreon page. At the moment it's okay, but it needs a lot of work, and that's what I'm in the process of doing. To my patrons that I currently have, I say a big thank you and a big apology for not spending more time on the Patreon page to actually build it, grow it, which I'm now going to do. It does take up a big chunk of time. I do a lot of social media, obviously the forums, 650, Z650 forum, the ST1100, etc., Hayabusa, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. I say Instagram is growing as well, but again, it all takes time, and sometimes you find it difficult to squeeze it all in. I used to be on Reddit years ago, but I've had to drop that because I can't possibly stretch myself that far. But that's just a quick plan of what's coming up, and just to say a big thank you to all the support, all the photos, all the emails, all the comments I've had that are helping me with this build. To say this is my first restoration ground up build. It hasn't been easy, as a lot of you are finding out that have bought bikes, have seen my videos and going, cheers, that really helps me. I'm in the same boat as you are. I'm learning. I'm not an expert. I'm not a mechanic. That's why I put the disclaimers at the front of the videos now. Also, regarding the videos, in the last 2 videos I've actually changed the release time. I was releasing them at 6 AM UK time on a Wednesday and a Saturday. Again, I'm doing a lot of work in the analytics of YouTube, finding out when the best viewing times are, to try and grow and increase the channel, increase the subs, the views, etc. Again, that takes a lot of time and a lot of work. So I've actually moved the videos at the moment to 5 PM on a Wednesday UK time and 5 PM on a Saturday UK time. But again, let me know in the comments box below what you think of the new times. Do you prefer it at the old time? Do you like the new time? In the last video I tried a couple of different editing formats where I've brought in, as you saw, a preview and then you go into the title screen. I used to run the Patreon thank you right at the very end in the credits, but was tending to find a lot of people had actually switched off by that stage. So I've actually moved them to part way through the video, which will reflect when I update my Patreon page and the tiers of my Patreon page. I actually run a few tiers of donations within the Patreon. I'll show you a screenshot now. As you can see, they start off from just $1, work up, and I've done it basically bike related, just to make it a little bit fun. But as I say, I will be adapting and readjusting the tiers and what's in each tier. The $1 one will just be a simplified base version. That dollar will well, I say it does help me buy quite a lot. It is the base entry level. For people that don't understand Patreon, if you donate $1 or £1, unfortunately now due to regulations there is VAT on top of that now. Patreon take a slice off the top, something like 5%, so on $1 I should get something like 95 cents, 95p per donation. That still makes a difference. The more I can get, the better it is for me. The more I can put back into the channel, the more I can improve the channel and grow the channel. From when I look back, literally a couple of years ago, where the channel was to where the channel is now, it's grown for me massively. As I say, I'm up over the 4,000 subscriber mark, over the 500,000 views, currently heading towards 600,000 views, which is a big deal for me. It's a big thing, you know. You look at some channels and they can do that in a video, but for a normal guy in his garage, just tinkering with his bikes, doing what he loves, like most of you, it's your passion, it's your escape. And that's what it is for me, but I just decided to film it. It is a good documentation. I'm pleased that it's helped so many people. I've had loads of comments, especially back on the Hayabusa build, where people have just said, oh, that's fantastic, that really helped me. I needed to do this and you helped me through, which is great. It really means a lot. But as I say, just a short video, just to say a big thank you, explain a little bit about Patreon, explain a little bit about obviously what videos I need to do, what things are coming up, and just keep cracking on with the channel. And as I say, spending more time on Patreon. I will be doing, as I say, an updated Patreon promotional video that will be only released on Patreon. It won't be a YouTube release, or I don't know, maybe I should. Do you think I should do a Patreon promotional video and launch it on YouTube? Let me know your thoughts in the comments box below. But as I say, next episode we're back onto the Z650, start reassembly of the front end, get as much on it as we can, probably get it over 2 or 3 videos and try and get this on 2 wheels, down on the ground, and then I'll need to pull it aside and jump on something else. Right, also one last thing before I go. I have changed, obviously you saw in the last video, I've changed the actual end screens. It used to finish the video, then you'd see a list of my patrons if people were still around by that stage, and then there would be a 20-second block of where you could see next best videos and playlists, etc. Again, looking at the analytics of YouTube, people weren't actually hanging around that long, so few of you were actually watching and clicking onto other videos. So I've decided to move it back. So as I end the video, you will see other videos crop up. They will either be in the bottom corner or the top corners. So as I say, there should be videos popping up in the top corners now, so go and check them out, have a look at what else I've done. And thanks for watching. Join me again next time. Cheers. Bye.